Hello, everyone. This is Doug Davis, broker in charge at Karan B Realty, and here with another session of Ask Doug. And I was asked today about street setbacks as it relates to vacant land today. So I thought I would incorporate a little bit more about vacant land pitfalls. Caveats to purchasing vacant land and what you should be looking for and what risks are there and what unknowns are there and what should you be looking for to make sure that you can do what you want to do with a vacant piece of land. So first thing I would tell you is to get an architect, get them started with you, consultation. And I mean, this is what they do. They build on vacant land. So you want to get the expert there, and then they can start researching on their own other things for you. So first thing you want to make sure is that you can get the utilities that you want to the property. When you're in the city, so if you're here in Hawaii, Honolulu, you pretty much can get water and sewer, but not always. So I remember a property years back in Kuli'o'o, and they CPR'd it, but they couldn't get another sewer hookup for the second lot because Kuli'o'o is the very last leg of the sewage line that goes to Sand Island. That's a long way away. So they were capped out at the time and could not get the permit. I mean, there's what, 17 departments that you have to go to get a building permit to build a house, and sewer is one of them, and they wouldn't do it because they were maxed out, so they say. So that's one. Water. I had a house once that was at the bottom of one of the water loops. And what I mean by that is that the water tank goes and services, I don't know, maybe 1,000 houses, for example. And the house I was working on was probably the 1,000th house. It was the last one. And by the time that the water in that piping arrangement, I'm calling it a loop, got there, the pressure was below standard. I think it was like 40 pounds per square inch. Definitely not enough. That would be like a drip coming out of your shower. 80 is the standard, 100 really nice if your appliances can handle it, but they recommend around 80 pounds per square inch of pressure for a pipe. So 40 clearly didn't do it. But the architect designed a in-the-wall water tank, and that gave sufficient pressure to add to it, and they were able to move forward with it in spite of the low pressure from Board of Water. So there's always little techniques, things that you can do, and a good architect could figure that sort of thing out. Okay, then there's other things like maybe deed restriction. So you definitely want to look at the title report and see what might be on there. I've sold property where the owner retained a deed restriction on the property below and left a height restriction. So if they were ever to tear the home down below, they couldn't build it higher than a certain level and block their view. I've also had people buy the house below them, put a deed restriction on it, and then immediately sell it, just in case someone would tear it down and ruin their view. So you want to make sure that what you're buying doesn't have some sort of deed restriction that doesn't appeal to you. And then there's things like, we had a lot of Bishop Estate land here that sold and converted into fee simple, but Bishop Estate left deed restrictions on vast number of subdivisions. For example, in Kahala, they left street setbacks, which some people were building in that additional setback. So for example, Kahala, the city and county, it's 10 feet. But Bishop Estate left on certain streets 25-foot setback. But some people, when they got their fee simple title, said, oh, Bishop's never going to be enforcing it, so let's build in there. That you can make your house bigger or situate it so that you have a bigger backyard, fit in a pool or something like that. But there's the Kahala Association that was enforcing setbacks. So you want to make sure that you're not doing something that you are not allowed to do. So again, that was a deed restriction, would have shown in a title report and could have been prevented. So what else? There's differences when you buy, say, in the country and large acreages. You may be subject to certain Hawaiian rights of access. So you may have to provide a pathway to the ocean from, maybe you're in the middle of the valley or way up in the top of the valley. You may still have to provide a pathway for traditional Hawaiian rights of access and fishing and farming and all that sort of thing. So you want to look for that, and a title search would demonstrate that too. So in your title report or a title search, you want to have your favorite escrow company check into it if you're selling anything large, big acreage, that sort of thing. So, okay, so that's it. A little more difficult to get financing on vacant land. Lenders might give you a 2-year loan to pull off the construction, and then you do a refinance when you have a house on it, because you can't get a house loan on vacant land. And so you want to check into that before you buy something as well. Okay, so there you have it. Those are just some of the little things that come to mind on buying vacant land. Easy to do, but you want to check everything before you commit to buying. All right, and if you have questions, love to hear from them. If you have any real estate needs, property management, estate management for vacant houses, condos, buying or selling, let me know. And until next week, see you then.